Welcome to Pasadena and the 2015 APS Annual Meeting. Now, please welcome the President of APS, Rick Bennett.
Wow, good morning. Go APS, this is great. Welcome to Pasadena. Thanks for joining us for the opening general session and award ceremony of the 2015 APS Annual Meeting. We're excited to be here in beautiful Pasadena, California, and meeting jointly with the Pacific Division. I am truly honored to serve as president of APS, and I'd like to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity and support. It's also my pleasure to work with such a loyal and dedicated group of volunteer members and the best and most resourceful staff that we have at APS headquarters in Minneapolis. We're broadcasting this session live across the globe today. To those connecting by our live streaming, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us. The theme I selected for this year's meeting is Crossroads in Science. The theme reflects the unique position that our discipline holds within the broad field of plant sciences. We are at the interface among the worldwide community of plant scientists in our attempts to better understand the complexity and interrelationships among and between organisms. Plant pathology is at the intersection of a multifaceted science focused on the needs of a growing population. In the plenary session on Monday, you will hear from Doug Parker, Director of the California Institute for Water Resources at the University of California. Doug will talk about California's drought crisis and the important impact that it's having on the urban, agricultural, and environmental sectors, and what his institute is doing to address those issues. In the second half of that plenary session, find answers to future-focused questions. Michael Rogers, best-selling author, technology pioneer, and futurist from New York City, will talk about crossroads in science brought about by the enormous opportunities generated from big data and advances in inexpensive tools for genomics. Our Tuesday plenary session will provide insight on the future of our professional landscape. Scott Zimmer, a generations expert from Bridgeworks in Minneapolis, will present When Generations Connect, communicating 4 generations of employees. This will be a lot of fun, I can guarantee you. He'll examine how 4 generations of individuals with unique sets of attitudes, values, and work styles can come together in today's workforce. These exceptional plenary sessions should offer a lot of excellent scientific and occupational takeaways. Now, please join me in welcoming APS President-elect and a 2015 Annual Meeting Program Chair, Sally Miller, who will share this year's meeting highlights. Sally?
Thank you, Rick, and good morning, everyone. After a year of planning, I am thrilled to see this meeting underway. Before we talk about the meeting highlights, I would like to thank the members of the Annual Meeting Board, led by Amy Charkowski, for their contributions and hard work throughout the past year. We've put together a unique, diverse, and progressive program that would not have been possible without this great team. Would the following individuals stand as I read your name? And for the audience, please hold your applause until the end. Program Vice Chair Tim Murray, AMB Director Amy Charkowski, Annual Meeting Board members Cruz Avila Adame, Paul Esker, Kelly Ivers, Peter Ojiambo, Naidu Rayapati, Jeffrey Rollins, and Jerry Weiland. Thank you all for your hard work. As Rick indicated, we are live now with our global audience, And we'll also be live streaming our Monday and Tuesday plenary sessions. New this year, we are adding to our live streaming 4 of our scientific sessions, as shown on the screen. We encourage our global remote audience and those in our Pasadena audience to have your colleagues connect with us live throughout the week. All these sessions will also be available for viewing online following the meeting. In addition to our highly regarded special and technical sessions, we are constantly looking at new ways to bring the science to you. And this year, we're pleased to continue to add new opportunities for your exchange of science. PhytoViews are back, bringing together various viewpoints on key topics affecting our science during interactive facilitated conversations. This year, our topics are protecting seed health and the Phytobiome Initiative. For informal conversation on specific issues, join one of our Idea Cafe roundtable discussions in the exhibit hall. Based on the success of last year, we now have 15 Idea Cafe timely topics from which to choose. Adding another twist to our poster author time, poster huddles are also back. Look for the signs that direct you to the poster huddles on Monday and Tuesday afternoon. And new this year are the Take a Walk sessions that take science out of the meeting rooms and into nature. This year's 2 scientific sessions are taking place at the famed Huntington Gardens. Pre-registration was required, and as you can imagine, they filled quickly. Huntington Gardens Director Jim Folsom has generously offered free admission to any APS meeting attendee who presents his or her name badge at the entrance to the gardens. Huntington Gardens is 120 acres of spectacular gardens featuring over 15,000 plant varieties located on the outskirts of Pasadena. We would like to thank Jim and his staff for this most generous offer. For all the meeting information and more, we encourage you to use your APS Meeting mobile app. It's the best way to connect to the meeting program and keep up to date with all the activities taking place during the meeting. Last year, almost 50% of our attendees used the mobile app, and let's aim this year for 75%. It's easier than carrying around the program book, and it's free. And last, but certainly not least, after an incredible week of fabulous science, we'll end our Pasadena experience with the California Dreamin' Final Night celebration. Taking advantage of the great weather, this party will be held outdoors in the plaza area of this building. In addition to great food, the evening's entertainment will feature music by the Lucky Devils, so hope to all see you there. Throughout the annual meeting, take in all the scientific knowledge presented in the sessions and at the posters, meet with colleagues and old friends, make new friends, and most of all, have a great time. Thanks for joining us at the 2015 APS annual meeting. And now, I'll welcome back Rick to the stage.
Thank you, Sally. Well, it's been a great year for APS. We've accomplished a lot, so let me quickly review some of the highlights of this past year. During the last year, Council and an array of boards, offices, forums, and committees have collaborated to implement the strategic plan for APS and set our priorities. Several key issues were addressed, and here are a few of the highlights. In early 2014, we launched the Phytobiomes Initiative, and at last year's meeting, we gave it some of the spotlight. Since then, Council and the Public Policy Board have focused on building awareness around the phytobiome and developed the first ever Phytobiomes meeting, which brought together experts from diverse fields related to phytobiomes. Sessions range from lessons that can be learned from other microbiome efforts to designing a path forward for a phytobiomes systems approach. Phytobiomes 2015, Designing a New Paradigm for Crop Improvement, was held in Washington, D.C. from June 29th to July 2nd and had more than 200 attendees. The initiative also launched the Phytobiomes Roadmap, We're creating a path for generating a comprehensive, systems-level understanding of all of the components of agronomically important plant biomes. It's important to receive feedback from all of you, so I encourage you to submit your ideas for the roadmap at phytobiomes.org roadmap, or visit the PPB booth in the exhibit hall to participate. To complement our efforts for the past year, APS supported Elizabeth Stahlberg, our Public Policy Fellow at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Another focus this year was an effort to increase our international engagement. APS aims to be inclusive of individuals who have a need for plant pathology resources but may not have the funding to participate in APS as a regular member. After discussing ways to foster a more inclusive society, a vote was put forth and approved by you, the APS membership, to discontinue the current group membership program and instead provide these individuals with a new membership option and added benefits at a reduced price. We're in the process of transitioning current group members to this exciting new program. For our members from Brazil who are here this week, we also recently established a memorandum of understanding with the Brazilian Society for Plant Pathology, and a new working group will be formed to help guide our cooperative efforts. In addition to this new agreement, we continue to have successful engagements with the British Society of Plant Pathology, the Japanese Phytopathological Society, the French Society for Phytopathology, and the Italian Phytopathological Society. APS truly is international, with over 1,500 members living outside the United States whose interests we value. We're also excited to help facilitate an international exchange of plant pathology science in 2018 when APS hosts the International Congress of Plant Pathology in Boston from July 29th to August 3rd. This is a meeting you don't want to miss. This is really going to be a fun meeting. It's only 3 years away, so begin your planning early to ensure your participation in a great meeting and a fantastic city. Last year, we announced we would be dedicating significant focus to our journals. This year, we made great progress in transitioning the journals to the new online publishing landscape. APS launched the journals in XML first in April of this year. Readers will find added ease of use and better readability, but the new platform also included altmetrics, which provides an article-level metric showing how many times it's been downloaded, tweeted, or shared on social media. You can stop by the APS Press bookstore for more information. Also, a new task force was launched to dive even further into the future of APS journals, where we, as a society, should be heading to continue to produce relevant and widely held publications. Recommendations are expected later this year from our task force. APS aims to engage in all facets of our discipline, and this year the Office of Private Sector Relations hosted its first ever private sector and government institutions tour in July at Research Triangle Park in North Carolina to encourage students and postdocs to learn more about careers outside of academia. 24 participants visited Syngenta, Bayer, Dow, USDA APHIS, and Monsanto. They also work with APS Foundation to establish and provide the new experiential awards you may have heard about, one for an individual and one for a department or a group. OPSR members will be available throughout the meeting to talk about their incentives and other career opportunities. To help grow our next generation of plant pathologists, we approached a new website with tools for early career members. Several early career-focused committee members helped launch Cadre, Career Advancement and Development Resources and Education. The Cadre team wrote dozens of articles, conducted several interviews, some of you may have been interviewed, and gathered existing APS career-focused content to develop a hub of information. This member-only website, which requires a login, provides resources specific to those in plant pathology written by fellow plant pathologists. You can't find these unique pieces on Google. It's only unique to Cadre. The website also has a forum for any career questions you have or advice you may need. Feel free to sign up to mentor or be mentored by members with valuable knowledge and experience. In addition to early career efforts, we focus on developing undergraduates through the Frank L. Howard Undergraduate Fellowship, which this year received a record 29 applicants. The Office of Education will help refine goals for new programming to encourage even more enthusiastic individuals. In fact, this year, we have several high school students attending our meeting this year, and I think are in the audience here this morning. We also ask APS leaders to strategize and collaborate on ideas for engaging the next generation of plant pathologists at this year's Strategic Exchange Forum, which was held on Friday, a couple of days ago. A wealth of ideas were put forward, and several of our boards, offices, and committees will be putting action plans in place to address the next steps. APS wants to provide you the best membership value possible. We love to hear your ideas for enhancing your membership, and we've added a lot of exciting new tools and resources this year to do just that. The APS image database is now live and has nearly 3,000 images from 8 books in a compendium of plant disease series covering diseases, pests, and disorders. You can join the subscribers currently taking advantage of this diverse collection by visiting the APS Press bookstore and subscribe through a special image database promotion. Rounding out our added enhancements is Auto Renew. This program has been up and running for a full year now. This new enhancement makes it easier than ever to be an APS member. While this automatic payment works exactly the same way as your current one-time annual payment, you save time and never miss another benefit without ever having to log in and pay. I love being a perennial member. You can sign up at the membership kiosk near registration if you haven't already. So it's clear that APS has had a great year this year. Our success is generated from active engagement of you, our membership. APS truly is a member-driven society, and we're proud of you who commit your time and energy to keep APS strong and relevant. Of course, this wouldn't be possible without our dedicated headquarters staff who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make this meeting possible. The new tools, products, services, and enhancements and events I mentioned are a direct result of ideas provided directly from our membership. We encourage you to continue to send us your ideas online. We truly do value your input. And now to hear how we support all of these undertakings, our treasurer, Steve Slack, will provide the APS financial status report. Steve?
Thank you, Rick. Fiscal year 2015 was a financially impressive year for APS and one in which we met or exceeded the majority of our financial priorities. The categories in the first column represent each of the business centers for APS. For the year ending June 30th, 2015, APS had an unaudited net income of slightly more than $163,000. The total revenue for the year was about $5.1 million. Total expenses, approximately $4.9 million. On this chart, please note that the last column reflects a distribution of overhead across all income categories. APS has been reinvesting surplus dollars into innovation projects to help drive the financial health of APS. Projects in this category include the OSTP Fellowship, development of an online image database, development of Cadre, and XML First startup cost for our publications. Please note that Rick is calling for more of these innovative ideas, and we are already considering, as council, thoughtful ideas from publication board across the publications and APS Press. As I mentioned, revenue for APS was slightly more than $5 million. The breakdown of this revenue falls into the following category: journals, phytopathology, plant disease, MPMI, and they equal about 52% of the society's income. APS Press totaled another 15%. 16% of the revenue was derived from last year's annual meeting. Plant Management Network brought in 8% of the revenue, and member dues comprised 7% of the total revenue. Our journals and publications continue to serve as the bread and butter for our society, equaling approximately 75% of our revenue. APS Press has many new titles and products now arriving, which will bolster its impact and income in the coming year. With respect to the $4.9 million of expenses this year, the breakdown of cost incurred is as follows. 13% came from member services, including the Office of Public Relations and Outreach and the Public Policy Board. 11% were from last year's annual meeting. Journals comprised 25% of cost, PMN 3%, and APS Press spent 18% of total expenses. 26% were general and administrative expenses, and this category includes building, equipment, technology, phones, bank fees, and insurance costs. Publications and journals accounted for 46% of the year's expenses. Over time, APS has been profitable from its operations. The red line on the graph reports investment in pension income activity. Note that there's considerable fluctuation starting in 2008 compared to earlier years, which is reflective of significant shifts in funding and outlook nationally in recent years. This concludes my financial report, and at this time I'd like to welcome Dave Gaduri to the stage to report on APS's membership efforts.
Thank you, Steve. Well, I'd like to welcome the more than 1,600 APS members and guests in attendance to our 107th annual meeting. This makes this one of the best attended APS meetings in the last 10 years. The registration is now approaching that of our 2008 centennial meeting. Last year we met in Minnesota, the home state of our society. This year we find ourselves in the great state of California. And attendance this year is a pretty good indication of how much our members value this meeting. We expect an even larger turnout and a slightly shorter walk to the beach when we meet in Tampa in 2016, so I hope to see you all there. The present membership of APS worldwide is now 4,716. We have nearly 3,000 regular professional members. We have both a growing student and emeritus membership. A slightly smaller percentage of our members are postdocs. All of that's reflective of the age demographics of the society and the employment opportunities in the profession. Many of our members are now transitioning into retirement, and at the same time, a number of our graduates and recently completed postdocs are stepping into recently opened positions. In fact, there are a number of new positions being advertised during this meeting. So that's good news for those of you who are close to graduation or finishing up a postdoc, whether you are just starting your career or whether you're looking for job candidates, this meeting is the place you need to be. Our society is based in the United States, but we're truly international in our membership. Over a third of our membership is distributed across nearly 100 countries worldwide. Regional representation shows the strongest presence in Asia and Europe. If we were to show the 5 countries with the largest number of APS members, they would be China, Canada, Japan, Australia, and Brazil. I had high hopes for Brazil to advance in the membership standings after a brilliant showing last year, but the Australians have rallied and have moved up in the rankings, so there's always next year, Brazil. Finally, I want to encourage all of you individually to reach out to your colleagues who are not yet members of APS, but who should be. Encourage them to join us. This organization remains their single most effective advocate for the profession, for the future of that profession. At the end of the day, the members are really our most effective means of recruitment. There are possibly over 1,000 of you in the audience at this moment. Think of the impact it would have if every one of you could find one member, a person who's not yet a member, and persuade them to join us. Do that, and on that particular day, when you come back here next year, you can report on your accomplishments. One of our most distinguished members was born 101 years ago on March 25th, 1914. In honor of Norman Borlaug, APS has launched and continues an engagement and outreach effort that we call Borlaug's Army. It takes its name from Norman Borlaug's 1970 acceptance speech for the Nobel Peace Prize. Part of that initiative is a 1-year free membership to any undergraduate enrolled in an internship or work experience in plant protection anywhere in the world. There are presently over 100 undergraduates who have taken advantage of that opportunity through the Borlaug's Army initiative. Linking an internship program or work experience to a professional society is a great way to enrich that professional experience of undergraduates and to get undergraduates out of the mindset of being consumers of instruction to being citizens of a disciplinary community. It's really the first step on the path towards a lifetime of service, exploration, and engagement in the profession. That's where one very attractive aspect of our profession that many of us take for granted. The opportunity that APS provides for a new scientist to immediately jump onto the world stage of the profession is unparalleled. And so we've tried to remove every possible obstacle to getting interns and undergraduates involved as members of APS through this initiative. You can't get much better than free. On a sadder note, since the Society last met, we've lost a number of our friends and colleagues. Some departed after very long lives, others all too soon. Please join me in a moment of silence as we reflect on the lives, the memories, and the contributions of colleagues lost in the past year. Thank you. I'm now pleased to welcome President Rick Bennett back to the stage.
Thank you, David. I'd like to start off by recognizing APS Council that served with me this past year. Would council members please stand as I read your name? And if I could ask the audience to hold your applause until I've read everybody's name. Sally Miller, Tim Murray, Georgia Bowie, David Gadori, Steve Slack, Mary Palm, Eric Tedford, Lindsay Dutoy, Nick Grunwald, Lawrence Datnoff, and Amy Hope. It's my honor and privilege to serve with you this year. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to welcome our incoming council members. Mary Palm in her new role as incoming vice president, although Mary has been on council for a while. Mary, if you'd stand. Paul Vincelli is our incoming councilor at large. Congratulations and welcome. We're pleased to recognize the member leaders who have completed their terms this year. Please stand as I read your name, and again, if you'd hold your applause to the end. Ray Martin, Jim Bradeen, Tim Paulitz, Jane Glazebrook, Mark Gleason, Monica Elliott, Doug Jardine, Kenneth Siebold, Sue Tolan, and Jay Scheidt. Thank you very much for your service in the organization. We really appreciate it. And of course, this year would not have been possible without you, my fellow APS members, and our awesome staff colleagues. Thank you for all you do for our organization. Let's take a look at all the people who've been involved this year. As I mentioned each category, please stand and remain standing. And again, we'll show our appreciation at the end of the session. Our members of council, if you'd stand, please. Our members of our offices, boards, and forum leaders. Our editors-in-chief and our reviewers. Our committee chairs and members of committees. Our session chairs and moderators. Our task force chairs and members, and our members of one of our special projects and new efforts, and our APS staff. I know our APS staff are standing because they never sit down. So if you look around the room, you'll see a lot of people standing here. So thank you for all your personal investment in APS. Please join me in a round of applause. Now, please help me welcome our APS immediate past president, George Abawi, to the stage to accept the official presidential scroll. You know, I've known and worked with George for many years, and I'll have to say he's truly one of the nicest individuals that I've ever met. George, come on up here. And one of the best colleagues, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room would feel the same way about George. So, George, it is with great pleasure that I present you the President's Scroll to you today. The scroll is a testament to your incredible dedication to APS for over 50 years. Congratulations on completion of your presidential term.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Okay, now the fun part. I'm pleased to officially now commence the 2015 Awards and Honors Ceremony this morning. It's such an honor to recognize the incredible service, scientific excellence, and dedication to our members at the start of our meeting. The first portion of this ceremony is focused on recognizing APS early career professionals who've received awards this year. As evidence, we have a wealth of up-and-coming talent in APS. Let's take a look at each of those being recognized today in a variety of programs.
APS, Early Career Recognition. Books for the World Award. Browning Plant Medicine and Health Travel Award. French Menard, Latin American Award. Frank L. Howard, Undergraduate Fellowship. International Travel Award. The Dawn and Judy Mathery Education Endowment Award. The 15th IE Mel Hughes Graduate Student Symposium. The Jane International Research Award. The Plant Pathology Experiential Award. The Schroth Faces of the Future Early Career Professionals Symposium. The Dawn and Judy Mathery Student Educational Award. The Raymond J. Tarleton Student Fellowship. The APS Public Policy Early Career Internship. The APS Public Policy Fellow. Plant Pathologists of the Future, showcasing the top graduate students from APS division meetings. The APS Student Travel Awards.
Wow, what an impressive display of talent from our early career professionals. Please stand if I may ask you and congratulate them on their accomplishments. Congratulations to each of you. We're looking forward to your active participation in the meeting and in APS for many years to come. I'd also like to point out on the back of your award brochure, we've included a complete listing of individuals who received awards at their respective division meetings this past year. Join me in congratulating all of the division awardees. So it's my pleasure at this time to welcome our immediate past president, George Abawi, to officiate the APS Awards and Honors Ceremony. George?
Thanks, Rick, and greetings to everyone. I truly have the distinct privilege and honor to represent our most prestigious award on behalf of the society. The APS Award Ceremony provides the perfect opportunity to recognize the outstanding service, the research innovation, and significant accomplishment of our members. APS, we begin with the Ruth Ellen Award, which recognizes innovative and impactful research in plant pathology. This year's recipient is Nicholas Grunwald.
Nicholas J. Grunwald was raised in Caracas, Venezuela. He earned his PhD degree in plant pathology from the University of California, Davis, and conducted postdoctoral research at Cornell University. He is presently a research scientist at the USDA ARS in Corvallis, Oregon. Grunwald is a leading authority on the evolution of emerging pathogens, especially in the genus Phytophthora. His work defined clonal lineages, migration, and emergence of the sudden oak death pathogen and showed that Mexico is the center of origin of the Irish famine pathogen P. infestans. His group developed tools for population genetic analysis, and his laboratory has hosted visiting scientists from numerous countries, including Barbados, Brazil, China, Ireland, and Italy. He has served as editor-in-chief of phytopathology and chair of the APS Publications Board. Grunwald's innovative research on Phytophthora emergence and tool development have changed the field of emerging pathogens, making him a worthy recipient of the Ruth Allen Award.
APS is pleased to acknowledge Nicholas Grunwald as the 2015 Ruth Allen Awardee. Receiving the Lee M. Hutchins Award is Ioannis Zanitakis. This award recognizes the contribution of basic or applied research on diseases of perennial fruit crops, including tropical fruits.
Ioannis E. Zanitakis earned his degree in soil science in 1998 from the Agricultural University of Athens, Greece. He continued his studies at Oregon State University and received his PhD degree in molecular and cellular biology in 2004. After service in the Hellenic Navy, he returned to Oregon on a postdoc studying virus protein translation. He joined the Department of Plant Pathology at the University of Arkansas in 2008. His recent publications in Plant Disease provided information on the epidemiology of blackberry chlorotic ring spot virus and blackberry yellow vein associated virus, the major components of the blackberry yellow vein disease complex. Sequencing of several virus isolates was used to develop diagnostic assays that captured virus diversity, whereas this work identified vectors, and extended the host and geographic range of the two viruses. Evaluating virus population structure is now considered the standard approach before developing detection assays for applications such as certification and quarantine.
APS is pleased to present Ioannis Xanatakis with the Lee M. Hutchins Award. The Noel T. Keene Award for Research Excellence in Molecular Plant Pathology is presented to Thomas J. Baum, recognizing his outstanding contribution and leadership in research that is significantly advanced in our understanding of molecular aspect of host pathogen interactions.
Thomas J. Baum's interest led him to pursue a degree in agricultural sciences at the University of Bonn, Germany, which he continued and completed at the Technical University of Munich in 1989 under the supervision of G.M. Hoffman and J.A. Verriet. Baum then switched to nematology and entered into a PhD program at Clemson University under the guidance of Stephen Lewis, Bruce Fortnum, and Ralph Dean. He graduated in 1993 and continued his education as a postdoctoral scientist in the laboratory of Richard Hussey at the University of Georgia. In 1995, Baum joined the faculty of Iowa State University, where he has been serving as chair of the Department of Plant Pathology and Microbiology for the last 10 years. Baum has been an internationally recognized leader in research on the molecular basis of plant-nematode interaction for almost 2 decades.
APS is pleased to present Thomas Baum with the Noel T. Keene Award. The next award is given by Syngenta to an APS member for an outstanding contribution to teaching, research, or extension in plant pathology. The 2015 recipient is Melissa G. Mitchum.
Melissa G. Mitchum earned a BS degree in biology in 1993, an MS degree in plant pathology in 1995, and a PhD degree in plant pathology from North Carolina State University in 2001. She was hired as an assistant professor at the University of Missouri in 2003 and has developed an internationally recognized program in molecular plant nematology that earned her promotion to an associate professorship in 2010. In 2014, she received the Outstanding Senior Teaching Award from her college. Mitchum has made multiple significant research contributions during her early faculty career, including detailed functional analyses of unique cyst nematode effector proteins that mimic plant signaling peptides, a novel nematode effector that regulates auxin transport in host feeding cells, gene expression profiling of nematode feeding cells obtained by laser capture microdissection, and a 2012 report in Nature that discovered A-serine hydroxymethyltransferase as the novel soybean cyst nematode resistance gene.
APS is pleased to present Melissa Mitchum with the Syngenta Award, presented by Eric Tedford. Our 2015 Excellence in Extension Plant Pathology awardee is Guido Schanebel.
Guido Schnabel was born in Marburg, Germany, and received all his degrees in that country. He did postdoctoral research at Michigan State University, and in July 2000 accepted a position as a fruit pathologist at Clemson University. His research and extension program is geared toward helping farmers cope with disease problems. He was nominated for this award due to his outstanding contributions leading to improved disease and fungicide resistance management in commercial peach and strawberry production. Schnabel developed fungicide resistance monitoring programs, which allowed for science-based, location-specific resistance profiling. The service was originally used to serve South Carolina and Georgia growers, but became so popular that in 2014, growers from 10 states participated. Schnabel is an excellent candidate for the Excellence in Extension Award because of his extraordinary accomplishments, his dedication to addressing grower needs, and entrepreneurship in his research-supported outreach program.
APS is pleased to present Guido Schnabel with the Excellence in Extension Award. The APS Excellence in International Service Award recognizes outstanding contribution to plant pathology by APS members for countries other than their own. This year's awardee is Rebecca J. Nelson.
Rebecca J. Nelson has a BA degree from Swarthmore College and a PhD degree from the University of Washington. She worked at the International Rice Research Institute in the Philippines and at the International Potato Center in Peru. She is now a professor at Cornell University, where her lab works on diseases of maize. Nelson has sought to understand quantitative disease resistance and to help smallholder farmers reduce their vulnerability to crop diseases. She was a MacArthur Fellow from 1998 to 2003. Nelson serves as Scientific Director for the McKnight Foundation's Collaborative Crop Research Program. Through the CCRP, she has contributed to a communities of practice approach that has enhanced the effectiveness of research and training in several food insecure countries. Her own work focuses on the genetics of resistance and on strategies to reduce mycotoxin exposure. Nelson is appreciated for her work on the participatory design of sensible solutions to complex problems.
APS is pleased to acknowledge Rebecca Nelson as the 2015 Excellence in International Service Awardee. Accepting on her behalf is Gary Bergstrom. Awardees for the APS Excellence in Teaching Plant Pathology Awards are Michael G. Milgrom and Eric B. Nelson.
Collaborative teaching by this pair of teachers results in a dynamic synergy that excites and motivates students to learn about infectious diseases. Eric Nelson and Michael Milgrom are professors in plant pathology and plant microbe biology at Cornell University and active members of APS. They are highly innovative and creative in their approaches to teaching on at least 3 counts. First, they are strong proponents of the flipped classroom, in which students take responsibility for learning outside of class. Class time is used for discussion and application of newly acquired knowledge to novel problems. Second, they use primary research literature in small structured reading groups to teach not only the relevant concepts, but more importantly, the process of science and how we know what we know. Third, these 2 professors teach collaboratively in all facets of the 2 courses for which they share responsibility, collaboratively preparing lessons and facilitating discussions. Their complementary differences in perspectives and experiences, coupled with their spirited repartee, create a stimulating classroom dynamic for student learning.
APS is pleased to present Michael Milligrom and Eric Nelson with the Excellence in Teaching Award. APS grants the honor of fellow to current APS members in recognition of distinguished contribution to plant pathology or the society. Each fellow is also presented with an APS fellow pin. These are worn by all previous fellow recipients throughout the meeting. This year, we honor 12 APS fellows in succession. Our first APS fellow recipient is Morris R. Bondi.
Between earning MS and PhD degrees at Cornell University, Morris R. Bondi served 2 years in the U.S. Army as an agronomy assistant in the Plant Pathology Division, Crops Directorate at Fort Detrick, Maryland. He returned to the USDA ARS's Foreign Disease Weed Science Research Unit at Fort Detrick as a research plant pathologist in 1974. His 40-plus year career has been devoted to studying the biology and epidemiology of exotic fungal pathogens that threaten U.S. agriculture. Bondi is a world authority on downy mildew diseases of gramineaceous crops, carnal bunt disease on wheat, soybean rust, and chrysanthemum white rust. On 5 occasions, he represented the United States in foreign trade negotiations concerning trade barriers imposed by plant diseases. Methodologies developed by Bondi's laboratory have prevented or reversed costly agricultural trade embargoes affecting U.S. trade by up to $7 billion per year, and they continue to be used in many countries.
For his accomplishment in original research in plant pathology, APS is honored to present Morris Bondi with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Scott E. Gold.
Scott E. Gold received his BS degree in biology from California State University, Los Angeles, his MS degree in plant pathology from the University of Arizona, and his PhD degree from the University of California, Riverside. He conducted postdoctorates at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, and at the University of California, San Diego. He joined the Department of Plant Pathology at the University of Georgia, where he developed a highly successful research program focused on Eustelago matus. Currently, Gold is a research plant pathologist in the USDA ARS, with the focus of preventing fumonisin contamination of maize products by Fusarium verticillioides. In addition to his highly successful research program, Gold has had a career-long dedication to teaching, for which he has received numerous awards. Gold has made extensive contributions to APS, including leadership on policy development, service on numerous committees, and editorial service at both the associate and senior levels.
For his original research, dedication to teaching, and professional and public service, APS is honored to present Scott Gold with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Neil C. Goodmestead.
Neil C. Goodmestead, University Distinguished Professor of Plant Pathology and the Neil C. Goodmestead Endowed Chair of Potato Pathology at North Dakota State University, is a world-recognized authority on the biology and management of potato diseases caused by several pathogen groups. He has made significant contributions on diseases caused by 10 fungi, 4 viruses, and 3 bacteria in more than 30 years as a faculty member. He obtained a BS degree in 1974 from Valley City State University and MS and PhD degrees in 1978 and 1982 from North Dakota State University, respectively. Goodmestead has worked on diseases that affect all stages of the potato plant, from seed tuber to storage, and more recently, his research has focused on invasive pathogens. His efforts aim to solve real-world problems facing the potato industry. The impacts of Goodmestead's research are immediate and practical, making his expertise valuable and sought after by the global potato industry.
For his contribution to the research of plant pathology, APS is honored to present Neil Goodmestead with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Carol A. Ishimaru.
Carol A. Ishimaru was born in Detroit, Michigan, and earned degrees at Michigan State University. After postdoctoral positions with Ann Vidiver and Joyce Loper, she joined the faculty at Colorado State University, and in 2004 became head of plant pathology at the University of Minnesota. She is recognized for her transformative leadership of the department, positioning it for continued excellence. Throughout her career, she taught graduate courses and led research in plant bacteriology. Ishimaru's more than 20 years of service to APS have been especially impactful. She served as member and chair of the Bacteriology Committee from 1991 to 1995, as secretary from 2001 to 2004, as a member of the Public Policy Board from 2009 to 2012, as chair of the Scientific Program Board from 2010 to 2011, and in the presidential lineage from 2009 to 2013. As APS president, she organized the interactive and provocative 2012 annual meeting plenary session on communicating science. Ishimaru is a leader among leaders and an effective and tireless advocate for plant pathology.
In recognition of her professional and public service and effective leadership and administration, APS is honored to present the incredible Carol Ishimaru with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Charles M. Kennerly.
Charles M. Kennerly was born in Thomasville, North Carolina. He received a BS degree from North Carolina State University, an MS degree from Washington State University, and a PhD degree from North Carolina State University. Currently, Kennerly is a professor in the Department of Plant Pathology and Microbiology at Texas A&M University. He is an authority on the molecular biology of Trichoderma species and has authored landmark discoveries on mechanisms by which these symbiotic fungi promote plant health. Kennerly's investigations of fungi are extensive and range from field ecology to fungal genomics and molecular mechanisms of antagonism. A breakthrough discovery was that T. virens produced a fungal protein elicitor called SM1, which triggers induced systemic resistance. He also described the genetics of peptiball's production. He is the recipient of several awards, including the prestigious Wakansi Teaching Fellow Award and the Newhouse Innovative Teaching Award. His accomplishments show how scientific knowledge and creativity lead to discoveries that enhance plant health.
For his original research, APS is honored to present Charles Kennerly with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Rosemary Loria.
Rosemary Loria received her BS degree from Lyman Briggs College, Michigan State University, and her MS and PhD degrees also from Michigan State University. In 1980, she became an assistant professor in the Department of Plant Pathology at Cornell University. Initially stationed at the Long Island Horticultural Research and Extension Center in Riverhead, New York, where she worked on various potato diseases. Following her promotion to associate professor, Loria moved to the Ithaca campus, focusing on potato scab caused by Streptomyces scabies and other Streptomyces species. While at Cornell, she served as chair of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences Faculty Senate, as Associate Director of the Office for Research and the Cornell University Agricultural Experiment Station, and also Chair of the Department of Plant Pathology. In 2011, she moved to the University of Florida as Chair of the Department of Plant Pathology. Loria has achieved remarkable success in both her innovative research and her diverse administrative contributions.
For her original research and administrative contributions, APS is honored to present Rosemary Loria with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow, James J. Marwa.
James J. Marwa was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. He received his BA degree in conservation biology from Florida Atlantic University in 1975 and his PhD degree in plant pathology from the University of Florida in 1980. He was a research plant pathologist with the USDA ARS before joining the Department of Plant Pathology, University of California, Davis, as an assistant professor in 1984. He was appointed professor in 1991 and became chair in 1993. In 1995, Marwa moved to the University of Florida to become professor in the Department of Plant Pathology and director of the North Florida Research and Education Center. Marwa has made substantial contributions to the biological and cultural control of plant pathogens, epidemiology and control of soybean rust, the etiology and management of hardlock of cotton, and the development of a sod-based cropping system. His most recent project is developing Brassica carinata as a biofuel. Marwa has authored or co-authored 155 refereed publications.
For his contribution in original research, APS is honored to present Jim Marwa with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Brian D. Olson.
Brian D. Olson is recognized as a dedicated APS volunteer. His contributions to APS include Director and Member of the Office of Industry Relations, Member of the APS Nominations Committee, the Plant Management Network Joint Executive Committee, the APS Advisory Committee on Leadership Development, Editor of Plant Disease Management Reports, and member of the Industry Committee, Chemical Control Committee, and Pathogen Resistance Committee. Olson also served as Secretary-Treasurer, Vice President, and President of the Pesticide Association of New York State and the Northeastern Weed Science Society, for which he was elected Fellow in 2007. Practicing applied plant pathology throughout his successful 30-year career, Olson championed innovative agrochemical technologies and responsible resistance management and product stewardship. Olson is known and respected across the United States in multiple disciplines of agriculture, and he professionally influenced many people throughout his career as a peer, educator, advisor, and mentor.
In recognition of his innovative research and extensive service to the society, APS is honored to present Brian Olson with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Hanumantha Papu.
Hanumantha Papu is a native of India and earned his BS degree from the Agricultural College, Bapetla, his MS degree in plant pathology from the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi, and his PhD degree in plant science in 1990 from the University of Alberta, Canada. After a postdoctoral position at the University of Florida, he joined the faculty of the University of Georgia in 1995. In 2002, he relocated to Washington State University, where he holds the Samuel H. Smith Distinguished Professorship and has provided leadership as chair of the Department of Plant Pathology. Papu has excelled in research, teaching, and extension activities and is recognized worldwide for his translational research with thrips-transmitted TOSPA viruses, leading to virus management programs in a wide variety of crops. He has developed innovative systems to investigate host virus interactions and conducted fundamental investigations into plant pararetroviruses in ornamentals. Papu has published over 172 peer-reviewed research articles and 14 invited reviews and book chapters.
In recognition of his achievements in original research, teaching, administration, and outreach, APS is honored to present Hanu Papu with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Leland Sandy Pearson.
Leland Sandy Pearson received a BA degree in microbiology at the University of California, Davis, and a PhD degree from Washington State University with M.L. Khan. He held a postdoctoral appointment in the laboratory of L.S. Tomashow at the USDA ARS Root Disease and Biological Control Research Unit in Pullman, and then joined the Department of Plant Pathology and Microbiology at the University of Arizona, where he rose to the rank of professor and associate director of the School of Plant Sciences. In 2009, he became professor and head in the Department of Plant Pathology and Microbiology at Texas A&M University. In addition to his extensive leadership activities, Pearson has conducted pioneering research on the role of phenazines in the rhizosphere and is internationally recognized for his work on quorum sensing and secondary metabolite production. He has also been recognized as an innovative instructor and has provided extensive and continuing service to APS and IS-MPMI.
For his contribution in original research and professional services, APS is honored to present Sandy Pearson with the Fellow Award. Our next fellow is Karen Beth G. Sholtoff.
Karen Beth G. Sholtoff was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and spent her formative years in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She completed her BS degree at Montana State University, her MS degree at the University of Nebraska, her PhD degree at the University of Kentucky, and her postdoctoral fellowship at the University of California, Berkeley. In 1994, she joined Texas A&M University, where she was promoted to professor in 2005. Sholtoff has made seminal contributions to understanding the biology of Panicum mosaic virus and its satellites, and she pioneered the development of Brachypodium as a model system to study host-virus interactions. She is also conducting original research in the history of virology and plant pathology. She has an outstanding record of service to APS and received teaching awards from APS and Texas A&M University, where she established the first undergraduate honors program in her college and serves as an enthusiastic mentor. Sholtoff's numerous pioneering contributions exemplify the qualities of an APS Fellow.
For her pioneering contribution in research, teaching, and public and professional service, APS is honored to present Karen Beth Sholtoff with the Fellow Award. Our final fellow for today, we saved the best for last, is Gregory L. Tilka.
Gregory L. Tilka earned his PhD degree in plant pathology from the University of Georgia in 1990, after which he joined the faculty at Iowa State University. He currently serves as professor and director of the Iowa Soybean Research Center. Tilka is an expert on the soybean cyst nematode, with internationally recognized research and extension programs. He developed and led the SCN Coalition, an innovative education program for farmers built on public-private partnerships among soybean organizations, land-grant universities, and seed companies. He also established and leads the most extensive program evaluating soybean varieties for SCN resistance in the United States. Tilka's research has advanced the knowledge of SCN biology, and results of his work are used in management recommendations across North America. He has served as director of the APS Office of Public Affairs and Education, and was instrumental in developing and maintaining the Plant Management Network's Focus on Soybean feature.
For his innovative and extensive contribution in extension and research, APS is honored to present Greg Tilka with the Fellow Award. Congratulations to all of our 2015 APS Fellow. What a group. This concludes the APS Awards and Honor Ceremony. Please join us in honoring all of our awardees today. Please make sure to congratulate our awardees on their many accomplishments throughout the meeting. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the meeting, and see you around.